status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our cares team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. All right, what's going on? Today is October 10th, and we're here to talk about the timeline, okay? The timeline, the step-by-step for a marriage case. Now, I know some of y'all are not getting married to someone, especially not a U.S. citizen. Maybe you're already married to someone who doesn't have status. That's okay. But it's good to have an update on what's going on with USCIS. Previously, earlier this year, we're talking about cases that were being waived. The interview was being waived is what I mean. Okay, not the entire case, but the interview. All right, so we do have some updates about that. Welcome to greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting, your immigration lawyer that helps you in all 50 states of America and across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even preventing it from happening in the first place so you can get that legal status that you deserve. All right. I'm happy to answer any questions as the best of my possibility. I'm still sick. I don't know what's going on, so please bear with me. I usually speed through these, try to answer it quickly, but I'll probably have to gather myself so I can prevent coughing. So welcome to the show. Again, today, you're welcome to drop in a question, ask a question in the comment section or the chat box below, and I'll try to get to it. I won't be able to answer everyone, probably given my voice, probably about like 10. And then, but ultimately, because you joined the show, folks, welcome. We appreciate it. We appreciate your trust. I get it if you're just flipping through. It's all good. Hang out for a little bit. But the best way to get in-depth answer is give us a call on YouTube and Facebook. You can see the number right up here. TikTok, not allowed to share the number for some reason. But you can go to greencardguys.com. Hopefully I'm allowed to share that. Go to greencardguys.com, answer a few questions, and we'll see if we can qualify you for a free strategy session for 15 minutes, no cost to you. It's kind of weird to look, even though the cameras are right next to each other. Trying to move it over. Anyway, I have a like one person production team, so there we go. I think that's better. So it doesn't look so awkward. All right, so the timeline, okay, step by step. I see that CKDS asked this question. Holidays are coming in. Is it best to wait or file AOS after ASAP? So that kind of will give you an idea, is that typically ASAP, okay, ASAP. And I know some people might be concerned about like, oh, will USCIS lose my file? It's kind of crazy, but that's some people's concern. So number one tip right here, I didn't mean to go into this right now, but number one tip, scan everything. That is what we do in our office. Scan everything that you're about to send so you know exactly what you sent. Because some people, when they talk to us, we're like, okay, we'll take a look. And then they're like, well, how are you going to do that? Because I don't have a copy of it. Yeah, that's not good. So scan in your documents. Number two, mail it by priority or USPS priority, next day, FedEx, whatever it is that allows for tracking. Tip number three, okay, folks, because some people comment here and ask like, how do I get the receipt notice? Why is it taking so long to get receipt notice? Tip number three, folks, you can get the receipt number by email or text. I don't know. They don't always pick the same method, but there's a form called G1145, I believe, that you can type in your email, put in your phone number, and they'll email or text you the receipt number. So you get a random message. You're like, what the heck is this? It's probably from the government with random, like the first 3 characters are letters. Could be MSC, EAC. It's just to indicate the service center, and the rest of it are numbers. Okay, that's your receipt number. Because if you don't receive the paper notice in the mail after, like, average 3 to 5 weeks, you can submit an inquiry online to the USCIS website. But if you don't have the receipt number, you can't submit that inquiry. So that's why I share these 3 tips. Okay, folks. So back to the topic of the day, which is related. Thank you, CKD, for your question. Earlier this year, and they continue to waive cases. But I don't have specific data for you, but I have noticed it seems to be a downward trend that they're not waiving as many cases. And maybe it's because they're slowing it down in general, processing. So we don't have like 100% clear data on this, but I did have an interview 2 weeks ago. Don't be scared if you have if you receive a notice in the mail, interview date for an interview in person. Don't be scared. If you're a client with us, Team Law Group, we help you from A to Z. I know we won't be able to cover every single question. In fact, we have a PDF of at least 100 questions, and I actually have more questions than that to practice with clients. But in fact, when I prepared with a client from 2 weeks ago in the interview in Houston, the officer actually asked 2 or 3 questions that I prepped that was not part of our list of questions typically. So that made me realize, but that's more so because, we review the evidence and see from the evidence, what could they ask about? So, and that's actually what happened. So hopefully that helps give you an idea why it could be helpful to have a lawyer. All right. If anything, because, at the end of the day, folks, you spent money for the government fee. Have embarked on this journey from start to finish to get your green card. And there's probably a crap ton you did to get to this point. So I get it. Of course, there are people that get approved without a lawyer. But look, if you're looking for peace of mind, at the very least, aside from legal experience, if you're looking for peace of mind, it's probably a good idea to at least have a consultation with a lawyer. Now, some lawyers don't like to give advice when they know you're about to have an interview. Look, we won't provide you all the advice, but of course you have to be a client. But we do like to provide pointers, and that's why I'm here on the show, right? On greencardguys.tv. So the timeline, okay, the general timeline, the case that we just had a couple weeks ago for an interview that was approved on the spot, okay, approved on the spot with a stamp in his passport. Still has to wait for the physical card, of course, which has some production delays. All right. We filed his case in mid-June. Looking at the calendar here, his interview was end of September. So that was 3 months. Look, would you rather have a case approved or have a scheduled interview sooner? Or would you rather have your case that's waived interview, but it could take like a year? Let me know in the comments what you think. For me, if I know I had a lawyer at least, that's good, okay, that prepares very well, then I'd rather have a shorter time frame, shorter processing time on the case. All right. So a lot of people ask, like, oh, if I have a lawyer, does that mean I will have the interview sooner? No, not necessarily. Because look, I've never worked for USCIS. I've never worked for the government. So I don't know internally. Whatever the policy they may have last month could have changed like the next day or the next month, right? They can do whatever the hell they want on their own workflow. But that's why as soon as we notice a trend, because they are getting caught up. The whole purpose of waiving interviews in the first place is because they had a lot of cases, right? And of course, USCIS gets a lot of complaints, right? So they decided, because of discretion, they could just waive some people. At the end of the day, in the government, it just makes sense to verify people's background in person. But hey, I practice immigration law. It's to my benefit that my clients get a waived interview. But it's not a bad thing if you have an interview, okay, folks? We're happy. I know someone asked, and one of our fans asked me to record a video on interview questions. So I still need to do that. I've just been sick, so it's been a bit difficult. But yeah, so from start to finish, I would say average right now in 2023, seems to be 3 to 5 months. We always tell people 5 to 12 months, okay? When I say always, I mean, if I want to really be, say, absolute like that, we always say 12 months. But we say that the trend seems to be 3 to 5 months on average, okay? Now, of course, if you have a caveat to that is if you have filed your case without a medical exam, a lot of people are delayed in the sense that you were expecting, let's say, a decision in 3 to 5 months from the time that you filed it, but because you didn't provide a medical exam with your case file, your package, your forms and evidence, some of y'all been waiting like 12 months, right? So what you've done, not your fault, but you just have to know the realistic situation, because you've had to essentially create this RFE situation. It puts a pause in your case until they receive your medical exam. But just because they receive your medical exam doesn't mean that they're going to resume for like the next day. We've been very fortunate that when we've had clients like that, because we filed it without medical, people were in a hurry, right? Now we absolutely encourage that you complete the medical exam in advance before we file the case to prevent that RFE, okay? But sometimes people get RFE for other reasons, like a lack of marriage evidence, things like that. So another reason I go on live shows, share tips like that from time to time. Okay, so I would say average in 2023 right now is still 3 to 5 months. But I'd say the trend can be a little slower if you have scheduled for interview, because of course they need to schedule you in. So it depends on the schedule. All right, it depends on the time slots. So, but I'm here to share with you, don't be scared, okay? DZA trail. So that's really the main thing I want to share with you. Well, one more thing. Some people ask, well, how soon will I get the work permit? And you might not actually get the work permit before. You might get the green card. You might get approved before the work permit. Isn't that? I mean, some of y'all might be like, what? If you're not familiar with the processes, these case filings, it's actually a good thing. I think some people who are new to this, right? Like obviously I'm not new to this. Our team is not new to this. But traditionally, the work permit could take 5 to 7 months on average. I get it. There's a lot of people been waiting like 12 months plus. But but knowing that timeline, heck, I'd rather get the green card. Look, I get it. For y'all who are not familiar with immigration process, you might think, well, why can't I get my work permit like next month after I file my case? Unfortunately, that's just not how it works. It takes a long time. So, because ultimately, when you do eventually, hopefully, knock on wood, get approved for residency for a green card, you don't need to have a separate work permit after that. Okay, you don't have to apply for a work permit after that you get the green card. The resident card serves as your ability to work, authorization to work in the United States. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, Maria, I missed a couple. Maria's back. I think she's feeling better. Maria, let me know if you're feeling better. I didn't get a chance to ask you, actually. DZA trail, can I benefit from DV lottery after overstaying? Ooh, that's a tough one. As in anything, just like if a company sponsors you when you overstayed your visa, you still need to show, if you want to get residency in America, that you maintained your non-immigrant status, which when people use the word overstay, you didn't, right? So eventually you have to consular process, have your visa interview abroad, which I will not go if you overstayed unless you are eligible for a 601A waiver. Okay, family unity waiver, which if you're applying for a DV lottery, you might not be eligible for a waiver, right? Because you do, to be eligible for a waiver, you need a spouse or parent who's a citizen or resident. Unfortunately, children do not count. Jace Green, the artist. What is the average processing time of 131 at NBC that I'm seeing? You can go to, I used to check online quite often, but I think I have a video on TikTok at least on how to check that. So scroll down. It's probably been a couple weeks on that. Or you can message me and our team can look for you. Okay. but because I'm trying to go rapid fire. But I mean, in general, it's 131 usually takes average 5 months. If you get it sooner, great. The King, what's up? Hello, you're married to a U.S. citizen. You filed your I-130 in January. You still haven't got response. What do you mean by response? Like a decision or the receipt notice? I mean, it's since January, so hopefully you receive the receipt notice, at least with the receipt number to acknowledge that you received it. But yeah, October now. Sorry. If you're talking about you only filed a petition, you're not going to get approval that quickly. Usually petition only without adjustment of status, without the 485 application, they take average 12 months. It's very unfortunate. Hey, on YouTube, James, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Daughter of the Most High. What's faster nowadays, marriage or fiance visa to bring your loved one, your partner, as a U.S. citizen? Okay, great. Thanks for asking it that way. It's faster through marriage. Fiance visa is helpful for people who are just not quite comfortable and just want the ability to like live together, right? Like 90-day fiance show. Not sponsored by them, of course. That'd be cool though. Shout out to the network. But anyway, marriage cases, because before the pandemic, I mean, you might find blogs online, but check the date, because before pandemic, it was much faster. Like, get the petition, step number 1, approved in 3 months or less. But that's not the case for a while. It has not been that way for a while. So because of the pandemic, so marriage case all the way. You can get married remotely, but there's some caveat to that. So if you're interested in that, give us a call, okay? Sorry, if y'all just joining, I apologize. I still have a cough. I'm not contagious. Maybe my kids are contagious. Let's see. Miranda, should I get a FOIA if applying for N400 as a RA? Is that a nurse type position? Registered nurse? I'm sorry, I don't know what the A means. Oh, resident alien. Okay, I just assumed that's what it means. Resident alien. Okay, that makes more sense. FOIA? Why would you need FOIA though? FOIA, if you filed for a case before, if you're not sure if you were eligible for something, or maybe you did something incorrectly, maybe some people, USCIS may call it misrepresentation. Yeah, we'll do a FOIA. But if you know you're eligible for it, you don't need, if you're eligible for it to become a U.S. citizen, that's what the N400 form, then you don't automatically need a FOIA. User 84, how many years wait time to apply for citizenship if you got GC conditions removed through VAWA? So actually through VAWA, in general, the quick thing is that if you were still married, you could apply for residency when you have residency in general, including conditional time, within 3 years. Well, right when it hits 2 years and 9 months. Okay. So, so even if you have removed conditions application pending, now if you got divorced, then the default goes back to 5 years. However, if you got residency through VAWA, it can go back to 3 years. Okay. That is the special limitation exception, I believe, is what I'm trying to say. How long does TPS take? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. And I would suspect it could change from time to time. I feel like applications based on this could take on average 5 months, but I would check the processing time for that, okay? Your USCIS processing timetable, if you Google search that. Or again, go to my TikTok, and I did like a video on how to do it. Where am I located? We're located in Houston, Texas. It's a bit gloomy today, but it's still always hot. But our main office is in Houston. QLAS Form 601 pending since June 2022. Is that normal? Yes, it is, unfortunately. And after you get your approved I-130, yeah, it's normal. But 601 waiver is faster than the 601A waiver, and they're used for two different reasons. All right. Two different reasons. So if someone's like, well, why can't I file 601? Typically, the default is 601 is for people who are outside the US. So I can't remember your name, but the person that just last comment on TikTok, maybe it meant the 601 if you're in the US. If you're in the US, you can file the 601, but that's typically if like you're filing initially and you're eligible for AOS, right? So like that can cover 601 can cover a lot of different situations, but if someone misrepresented or omitted a fact that should have been disclosed, then the 601. But for unlawful presence, a crew of unlawful presence is definitely the 601, or enter without a visa. Okay, to YouTube, James, what's going on? Your why petition I-130? She's a U.S. citizen. You married, filed since February 2023, but says actively review since February 2023. Texas Service Center. You're a Swedish citizen living in Sweden. Okay, cool. I need to learn more about other countries. Is that where you can ski? Don't hate me if I say if that's not possible. Anyway, okay, that's where IKEA is from, right? Sweden. Because they had the Swedish flag. Okay, to your situation, actively review is super frustrating. Actively review is super frustrating. Whenever I've called into the USCIS hotline, try to submit an expedite request, things like that. I just try to build some rapport with the representative, right? And I'm like, because I have some questions that y'all ask me, right? Like, what the hell does actively review mean? Is it accurate? And every time I ask, they're like, I feel so bad. They say they feel so bad. It's not accurate. So then you think, well, why the hell does USCIS do this? USCIS is the government, is the government agency. They do not have tech. They do not hire like a full-fledged tech company, or, I'm sure they have IT support, webmasters, but that doesn't mean they provide accurate data. Like, I don't think they intend to mislead people, but they should just take off that kind of update because it's not accurate. It's like, what does that actually mean? So I'm not sponsored by Domino's, but I do bring them up from time to time because if you order pizza from Domino's, I don't know if they have Domino's in Sweden, but they have a pizza tracker. So if USCIS had something similar, it would be great because the Domino's pizza tracker is very accurate. Like literally, I believe, I haven't ordered from them in a while, but I believe like they can tell you, okay, it's ready for pickup in 5 minutes or ready for delivery in 5 minutes. Actually, Uber and Lyft, in terms of car rides and delivering food and whatnot, I think they're pretty accurate too. So it's pretty amazing stuff. But USCIS, they need to get their act together. So James, February 2023. It's October 10th now. Got some time. Yeah, since you're abroad, petition only filings without adjustment status, they do tend to take at least 12 months on average. So stay in there. If it takes like 18 months, that's unfortunate, but that could be a situation you need to consider contacting us about filing lawsuits. So hopefully it's interesting. I mean, a lot of lawyers would say, call me, which I know I do say that from time to time, but it's more about timing wise. Like if your case is like less, like not unreasonable timing in terms of like a mandamus lawsuit, you don't have to contact us now. You could wait more time, but we're always happy to share information if you do want to contact us sooner. James, you say, okay, you were in New York, but you came back home because you have a job and company here in Sweden, but they said nothing to be done. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, it depends on your personal life circumstances. Depends what you want to accomplish in terms of like, some people have like projects at work and need to get done. And maybe your company doesn't want you to work abroad virtually, remotely in the US. So everyone's situation is different. Okay, James, you're coming to NC for wedding in December. Okay, so this may be a good reason to contact us. Okay, James, we have some tips that I have explained here on TikTok, or YouTube, but something like this may be helpful if you can read between the lines what I'm trying to say. Maybe give us a call. Okay, we'll give you some more tips on that. Hopefully, you have a valid visa. I can't remember if Sweden is part of the ESTA program, but probably, if I had to like make a wild guess. It's a self-home company. I'd love to learn more. Always like to learn more about other companies. All right. Yvette, do we offer free consults? Absolutely. We're different than many law firms. We offer strategy session for 15 minutes. It would be our pleasure to assist you on the case from start to finish or in the middle, but there's no obligation. We, as part of our mission with Team Law Group, we just want to be able to help you, point you in the right direction. Okay, because everyone's budget is different. I totally get it, but again, like if you want peace of mind, we're here for you. Okay. Unfortunately, even though we do call ourselves immigration problem solvers, there's some problems we just can't solve. So we tell you, like we offer you to, if you want us to investigate or do legal research for you, we want to be absolutely sure that if you're not eligible or not, we'll let you know. Because especially if you're already in the U.S., I mean, it totally sucks if it's just very heartbreaking that Congress still can't get anything done. They can't get anything done, right? 20 plus years of immigration reform. So a lot of people stuck in terms of not having legal status. So if you're abroad, if you're abroad right now and you're like, I'm thinking about entering America without a visa, talk to us first. Okay, please talk to us. There's actually there could be several options available to you. Will they be available to you, like meaning you can get the status like next week? No, but there is certain processes like being sponsored by a company. There's different visas available in terms of non-immigrant visas. So try not to, definitely don't hire a coyote. Okay, please. I've heard stories like this. Like some people just really think like there's just no options and they have to pay a coyote. I don't know. I heard like a family of 3 people. They pay smugglers. Maybe I shouldn't say this online, but it really just more the better information you have. So I think that I need to share this. They pay like 50,000 USD to a smuggler per family member. And it's just crazy to me. It's crazy. Like, come on, would you hire a lawyer for 50,000? I mean, maybe for EB5 investor visa, but it's getting wild out there. I know people are desperate, but man, there's options out there. Okay, so give us a call before you do something wild like that. Stink U89 I-130 pending 13 months. Texas. You live in Texas, or it takes Texas Service Center 13 months. Yeah, it's getting to be about a little bit unreasonable timing there if you only file a petition, but we usually file lawsuits on that if it's 18 months at least. Okay, for petition only. So all right, user 06, excuse me, I had to burp, can't help myself. If I fart online, that'll be a new one for the day. My bloopers, I have not done that yet, so please bear with me. By the way, this is a great opportunity to please get subscribe down below, or if you're on TikTok, up here, I think you can follow up here. You can get especially if y'all are just joining live for the first time on my show, greencardguys.tv, and just learning about us. Following us will give you a chance to learn more about us, because there's a lot of immigration lawyers out here. If you hire anyone, please let it be a licensed lawyer. Okay, please. That's my message to the world. Please hire, if you're going to hire someone, please hire a lawyer. Please don't hire, pay money to a notary, notario, I do this in quotations, a paralegal, a consultant. Like, if you're going to pay that money, you might as well pay that to a lawyer. I mean, and not every lawyer, by the way, is good, of course, in that sense. But I think on YouTube, I have a video about that, like certain questions to ask. Like, for example, how soon will you file my case, right? Assuming you're already eligible and the lawyer has verified that. Because look, you're going to spend thousands of dollars. You want to make sure you hire the correct professional for yourself. Let's see here. Yes, user 0609, you have a court day coming up for removal. You have a child with Down syndrome. I wish you all the best with that. More power to you for supporting your child. So you have a chance. Yeah, you do have a chance. I should have started the show today about this. I think I shared it on LinkedIn at least, but I was supposed to be in court today. I was supposed to be in Dallas court today. But with our advocacy, with our outside the box thinking, our relentless solution focus, we were able to get our client's case this morning administratively closed. Yes, I prefer dismissed, but we got the second best option, administratively closed. And some government attorneys, Department of Homeland Security attorneys will say, like, we really think outside the box. We've tried to put in as much relevant information in our request. For example, our client that was supposed to be scheduled or was scheduled today, his child, U.S. citizen child, will turn 21 in 4 years, right? So if a lawyer didn't mention that and request dismissal in the first place, then the client would have to go to court today for his trial. His case, by the way, was pending since 2015, okay? So I told the government attorney, a DHS attorney, as soon as his child turns 21, we're going to file a petition. So basically sharing the action plan. And that is what we do in a strategy session. When you unlock a strategy session for no cost to you for 15 minutes, we share the 1, 2, 3, the ABC with y'all, okay? And we really try to share that with you. Even if you don't intend to hire a lawyer, it's okay. It's important that you know the action plan. We have client meetings with people who, like, 6 months later, like, I have some new information for you. And they might say, like, they've been unfortunately abused verbally or emotionally or physically. There's a lot of different options, and we had to pivot, right? We had to pivot and change the strategy. So very, very important. So we're always happy to share action items in that sense, like as if it was a meeting internally with our team. Message to the world. They schedule you for 485 interview, what you'd expect. Welcome back to the show. I think I recognize your name. When is your interview? What you there's a lot. I need to record a video about this, but someone else asked me. There's a lot to expect. I don't know I don't know who sponsored you. Was it a marriage? Are you married to a U.S. citizen, for example? Oh shoot, love. If an employer commits PPP loan fraud for payroll, can an undocumented employee whistleblow? Ooh, that's a big one. I mean, anyone in general can be a whistleblower, as far as I know. I don't know the laws behind that right now, but I don't believe. That's a good question. Can you send us a DM and we'll try to find some resources on that, because I can imagine an employee doesn't want to, of course, doesn't want to put them in a situation to put them in a wrong spot kind of deal. So I get that. Man, that's crazy. I bet there's a lot of, it's a very unfortunate. I subscribe to, like, the Department of Justice news bulletin, and pretty much almost every day there's something about PPP fraud. It's very unfortunate. Okay. Lou Lala can help people in Arizona. We can. So even if you have a court case in Arizona, I mean, if I don't know if you have a court case, but if you have a judge that requires in-person hearing, we can, you have to pay for travel fees, but we try to make it as reasonable as possible. But like I just shared about my client success story today, we try our best to see if we can get it dismissed in the first place. But if it's not about court case, then yeah, we definitely help anyone. You can live anywhere in the world. If you're on TikTok, we use Dialpad for our video conferences, so, and Dropbox for our files. Let's see. Marriage case. You got your I-130 approved with an interview. Maybe you mean without an interview. Well, that's good. They approved it sooner before the interview. That's interesting. Usually they reserve that until the interview. But message to the world, not sure if you joined the show at the top of the hour, but we do. Don't be scared, okay? You do need to prepare, but don't be scared of the interview. It's all about mindset, okay? Be confident in telling the truth, of course. Let's see here. Maria, you got someone pinned comment here. So message to the world, y'all stay tuned. I will try. I know TikTok, they allow me to do a video for like three minutes or 10 minutes long. So stay tuned for the next recorded video. I haven't done a recorded video in a while. Just having 2 little kids, man, it's tough. It's tough these days. I used to be able to like stay up late and record after everyone's asleep, but that's just tough now. By the way, folks, just want to give a moment of silence for those folks who are affected by what's going on in Israel, in Gaza specifically. Our team's heart goes out to them. I can't imagine being in a situation like that. Fortunately for us, I don't think we don't have any team member located there. But if you have someone there, I don't currently know what resources could be available, right? This is obviously a war situation. So, but yeah, if we can be a resource to anyone in terms of immigration related to someone who's in Israel, please let us know. Call us or send us a DM. Okay, any way we can help out. All right. Let's see. Amelia Romero. Is the I360 petition a good alternative to the I-45 denial? Yes, if you're meaning like you've been abused physically, emotionally, or verbally. The most important part about VAWA is your own statement. Okay, so even though, of course, you're going to tell the truth on that, that's anytime someone is in a situation where you should be telling your own story in a letter and you have it notarized because you're swearing to the truth of it or under penalties of perjury, because a federal penalty if you lie. So not saying that you would, Amelia, but like some people do lie, unfortunately. And fortunately, I don't think it's been VAWA related. It's like usually other situations, but you just want to be able to, convey the story in a way that USCIS officer can understand it, of course, and be organized. And that's what we help with. That's what I learned in law school, actually, to be organized. Amelia, you said, what about stress and economic impact? That's not part of the standard. It has to be some kind of abuse. But stress, and if you mean like stress from your spouse, then that could be considered like emotional. It is emotional abuse. So it can be connected. Which you say economic impact. I mean, spouses, between spouses, I mean, man, it's a lot of it is about money, right? How to manage money together as husband, as spouses, partners. So I guess that's, if that's what you mean, yeah, you can. Anna on TikTok, you need a waiver for your parole. How do you do that? I need more information, Anna, because I don't know which parole you're talking about, or if you're talking about the family unity waiver. Want to make sure that you're eligible for it. Let's see here. Man, Maria, did I answer 10 questions already? Pretty sure it's like 20 already. Man, I really love answering questions. So I appreciate y'all's trust. But I think this will be my last question because I need to save my voice for a team meeting. Okay, let me see here. I'm sorry for whoever I missed a comment before. if you don't mind, ask again tomorrow in the live show, or just give us a call and we'll get you, our cares team will get you scheduled for a strategy session if you're qualified for it. Anna Maria, you don't have a permanent residence yet, but your husband wants a divorce. Your husband wants a divorce. You've been married for almost 3 years. Well, you say don't have the residence yet. Do you mean you have conditional residence status right now? If you do and you file, I hope you did file through file your 751 application. But when you're going through separation and not officially divorced, I would go ahead and file the new one, the new 751, at least check marking, I believe, divorce as the waiver option, because the 751 takes a hell of a long time. If y'all are experiencing long delays on cases, I mean, there's a lot of different case types that scenarios where there's a long delay. In 751, remove conditions is one of them, unfortunately. So I would, even though you're not officially divorced, but look, if you're already like for sure separated, one person's living in a different place, then I would file a 751. Okay, the new one. Okay, because I'm assuming your first one, of course, shows that you were jointly filed and both y'all signed it. So when you file a new one, that's the waiver of the 751, then it only requires your signature as the foreign national. Okay, so hopefully that helps. But yeah, get in contact with us because we have, of course, many more tips on that. Okay, folks, so thanks. Appreciate it. Every time I say I want to answer one more question, then I get ahead of myself. So thank you so much. If you have a question, I probably wasn't able to answer it, you can give us a call. Go to our website, greencardguys.com, greencardguys.com. Answer a couple questions on the contact page, or DM us. If you just ask a question, you want to know our website, our phone number, DM us. Unfortunately, YouTube is a little more difficult in that way, but we're happy to help. Or just join live tomorrow. I'll try to answer your question tomorrow. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day and wish you all the best. Take care now. Oh, by the way, folks on YouTube, unfortunately, when I end the live show, it doesn't show me the questions. So you might have to ask again. All right. Thanks. And subscribe, follow, and like the channel. All right. Thanks. Take care.